it's your second time here in Bilbao. What is the thing that you like most in the Basque culture?
Food. Comida. No, I don't know that well. Historically, I'm not that adept with the stories. Some of them I know, some of them I don't. The city, it's just so beautiful. It's incredibly beautiful. The architecture, the hills, the nature here. Flying into the airport, coming down, and beautiful. It reminds me a little bit of Northern California, similar geographically. And I've lived in San Francisco for a long time, so it reminds me a little bit of that.
How was working in Desperate Housewives?
Who's desperate? It was fun.
He knows. He wants to know why. Why it was
Why what?
desperate.
Porque what? I don't know. Because the character is kind of a fool, which was fun to play, and good actors on the show. Some of my favorites, Colin Cloughlin, got me in was very fun. Just a good vibe. The family. For some degree, like all masks are sometimes. Yeah, nice.
Thank you.
Hi. I asked Scott who's he most jealous of in the cast for their career, and he said you because you got to ride on a horse and in Deadwood. And I was wondering if you're jealous of anything that your castmates have done career-wise.
I wish I could sing as well as Randy. He got to play in Warhol. Who wouldn't want to play in Warhol? All of them, really, yeah. Very proud of Peter now and what he's doing. Very inspiring. And for those of you who haven't figured it out yet, Scott Lowell is one of the most giving, genuine, real people that I've ever met. And working with them.
Hi.
Hi.
If you could write a book, what it would be about?
I don't know. Maybe it would be about seahorses.
I'm sure it would be great. I'm sure it would be great.
You can't really screw it up with seahorses.
Thank you.
Hello. I wanted to ask you if maybe when you were younger and before you started acting, were you ever modeling? Were you ever a fashion model or something like that?
I don't think so.
Why not? I have to ask.
I don't know. You know.
No, not really. That's very weird that you have never modeled.
Not on purpose.
Okay. All right, I know. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
Would you like to be a rock star? Have your alter ego as David Bowie has his Ziggy Stardust?
My alter ego?
Yeah, would you like to be a rock star? Have an alter ego like Ziggy Stardust was for David Bowie?
Of course. Has anyone ever seen the documentary Cracked Actor? No? Just watch that. And That's the best answer to that question I can give.
Hi, there's something that intrigues me a lot. In one of the first episodes of the first season, you're in the Babylon with Emmett and Michael.
You know what?
You're in the Babylon, at the Babylon,
Okay.
and you're upstairs looking at the crowd, and you're looking for Brian is looking for a guy you want to fuck, and you know what I mean, right? And it's the guy you want to fuck all the night, and you couldn't find him, and you find him finally. You go down, and you don't find just one guy, you find two. And Emmett and Michael that stay upstairs, and Emmett say no, it can't be true, he can't do that. And Michael says yes, he can. And Emmett wonders what you're saying, what you whisper to the ear of the guy you want to fuck, or Brian want to fuck. I want to know. I would like to know what Brian say and what you were saying to this guy. If you were just saying something crazy to make them laugh and do it bad or things like that.
I think Brian was saying, you see that queen up there on the parapet? I'll give you $50 if you can make him really pissed off with me. And I was saying, I'm starving. Get me crackers in your pocket.
Go for it.
Right. Okay.
Now we're going to do the raffle for the duo.
Do it. Just give it to you or read it out loud.
$180. 180. Who's the winner? Oh, it's mine.
Thank you. Say.
Not here, 180.
Okay.
Number 2. Dos.
Do it.
2. The. There are more questions.
Socorro, tío. A ver, si sea que se quede quieto.
He would like to know if it wasn't Ryan, would you like to play another character from the series, from the
Debbie.
Hi. I would like to know what you remember of the shooting of the Liberty Light, of the days you had shooted the scenes of the Liberty Light. What do you remember?
Do I remember?
I mean, what do you remember of this date?
I remember trying not to wipe out. It was kind of raining, a little bit cold, there was some ice. I remember wondering how smart it was to be riding in a line of people that I'm not sure all of them knew how to ride bicycles. So I was worried that it was going to be a massive collision and I was going to get stuck and I was going to get a pedal through my skull. But at the same time, the bicycle that I was riding was very nice, so I was having a lot of fun doing on that. Yeah.
Scott told us that your bicycle was Scott told us, because I asked him, the same question, and he told us that your bicycle was, really special made for you.
Yeah.
And, and he was a bit jealous of your bike because his bike was his own bike.
I don't know why he would ever offer to use his own bicycle. He's too nice. He's too nice.
Did you keep that bike?
Me? No. No. Maybe.
Hi. I want to ask just one. What can you say about the scenes with Gas? How did you approach with the actual kid, Gas, the kid,
Gus.
Gas?
And
How did you approach with the actual kid? What can you say about?
well, everyone knows that actors don't necessarily get excited about working with children because the children always win. No, it's I really don't know. That's the first time I ever played with a kid, and they're actually twins. Didn't make it very easy. It's very easy. I just had to think about what that kid meant in the story, And so a lot of it I took from Taya, just watching her and how she was seeing the kid and thinking about our friendship and being so close to her children, ourselves, and what she was trying to do, what I was trying to do. It was easy. It was nice.
Thanks.
Gail, it's funny because my question's kind of the other end of the scale. I think the older actors on the set contributed a lot, and I wondered if you talk a bit about working with them.
Which actors?
Well, people like Jack playing Vic and...
Jack's a genius. Jack was and is still a good friend of mine. Actually, I owe him a phone call. He left me a message over the phone. But second season, I was still so nervous all the time that I wasn't sure what was going on. I kind of, I just rode their backs and stole from them, actually.
So it's like the holding it together that you kind of can't really take in what's going on.
Well, and to me, when we were working, they were characters. They were people in my character's life. So they weren't actors. They were people that I knew or liked or hated or didn't want to have anything to do with or wanted to be with a lot. So, does that make sense, what I'm saying? Yeah.
I think the scene with you and Lawrence in the garage is one of the most powerful scenes in Tourist Folk, and one that struck home to a lot of gay men that I know.
Mm-hmm. And
it was great that they got him because he's so powerful just as a human being. He's big, he's got a big voice, he's got a lot of power coming out. So that's once again another example of where you're just blessed to be working with someone that all you have to do is be in the room with them, and a lot of the story is told. Right?
Hi. You were at the Beatles' 50th anniversary thing, and I was just wondering if you had any favorite performances or anything stood out to you most, or?
I think While My Guitar Gently Weeps, that number was. While My Guitar Gently Weeps. Do you remember that?
I think so.
You know, there's a guy named Joe Walsh, you might know that guy. He was playing. That was my favorite. Okay. But I mean, it was interesting just to be there and be in a room with those people, you know? It was it was overwhelming, but it was really fun. It was a big deal. I was just happy to be there, you know?
And what did you think of Pharrell's hat?
I liked it. I couldn't really see, I couldn't hear so well because they were standing down deep inside the room, and from where I was sitting, I was watching their backs, you know? Yeah. I love the duet that they did. I love the fact that you had his thing going on, and you had country music kind of all put together. It was pretty cool. Yeah.
Hi. What can I do to get a positive answer to play in my film in future?
Say again? What can you do?
What can I do to get your positive answer to play in my film in future?
You mean a positive answer like yes? I think you first have to tell me what we're talking about. Like, do you want me to play a gremlin or a spaceship? What's the project?
I don't know. It's the future.
Well, send me what you're working on. Tell me what you're working on. Just tell me what you're working on. When you're ready to tell me.
I think she is still thinking about.
Okay.
Okay, this question is from my friend Alex.
Okay.
Do you have any regrets in your life? And if so, is it too late to change that?
Do I have any regrets in my life?
Yes.
Yes. Of course. And what was the follow-up?
Is it too late to change that?
Yes. C'est la vie.
Second question is, who is your favorite rider?
One more?
Your favorite rider?
My favorite rider? Dylan Thomas is up there. But there's a lot, you know, those are always dangerous questions. Pick a favorite, you know? That's a trap. I would regret that if I got it wrong. And then I wouldn't be able to change it. Right?
Thank you.
You got it.
Hi.
Hi.
How do you think Brian's first time was? We know that he said to Justin he was scared, but he doesn't remember anymore, and it looks like disappointed when he said it.
Sorry. What do I think Brian...
First time.
First time?
Was.
First time what?
First time he had sex.
Hold on, say again?
How do you think Brian's first time was?
How do I think Brian's first time was?
Yeah.
First time what?
First time he had sex.
First time...
He had sex.
First time he had sex? like everybody, was probably really embarrassing. He's just a human being, you know?
Because he said to Justin, he was scared, but he doesn't remember anymore.
Oh, he's lying. He's lying. He's not going to tell anybody. He was probably humiliated and embarrassed and terrified.
Okay, then.
I guess the main question is, who was it? And he's never going to tell.
It's Todd. Is it Todd?
His dog?
Todd.
Do you remember Todd? Todd, the guy in the back room?
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
Who do you think he is? His story, or he's just a guy who lives in the dark room? I want a convention with Todd.
Say that last thing again.
I want a convention with you and Todd.
Really?
Yeah. Who do you think Todd was?
Who do I think?
Who is Todd?
He's Todd. He's Todd.
Okay.
Do I think he was someone else dressed up as someone else?
I want a story with Todd. I don't know.
Todd was Benjamin Franklin in disguise. I mean, who would?
Okay, I'm happy now.
Okay.
I have a question from a friend. We'd really like to see you
Todd?
have. Todd. Enough of Todd. We really like to see Rehab, among other works which are still in post-production.
Wait. He really likes what?
Rehab.
He's in rehab?
Rehab.
I'm just playing. Okay. He really likes
Still-
rehab.
Which is still in post-production.
Which is what production?
Post-production, still in post-production.
No one knows. I have no idea.
And do you think it was possible to keep going with the project, or it's lost forever?
I have no idea. I really, honestly, I have no idea. I don't know any answers to any questions about that particular thing. I don't know what they're doing or what the film is doing, or I just don't know. I don't know. Do you know?
No.
I really, honestly have no idea. I don't know.
And,
Maybe Todd.
Maybe Todd. Maybe Todd.
And, while working on the project,
That's who Todd was. Oh shit. All right, now it makes sense.
while working on a project, did you ever happen to argue with a colleague in
Who's
such a
Holly?
a fellow actor?
Oh, Collie. I thought you said Holly.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
A bit of a strange accent. In such a strong way that it would create problems to your character's rendering and or to interactions with the person at issue?
Did the colleague ever?
No, I mean, did you have any problem with whatever fellow actor which would give you problems rendering the character?
Yeah.
And nothing else?
It happens all the time.
And how do you cope with it?
Not for me. I'm not saying that it happens for me. Although I think it happens to every actor. That happens. Things happen. You know.
Do you have any funny story that you can tell us?
Not that would be appropriate.
Well, something which could be appropriate?
I mean, that's part of someone's job as an actor, is to protect those things and make them not be problems.
Because you mentioned a few films yesterday. I don't know each title, and I watched this little thing on. I think it's Kickstarter or something. The little trailer thing you're collecting money for at the moment, and this reminded me so much of movies back in the 70s. Of a German actor which named Rainer Werner Fassbinder. I don't know if you ever heard of it. You haven't. I mean, you have or you haven't? It's not, you haven't heard the name?
Of course I've heard. It's a little embarrassing because he's a god.
Yeah, well, that just reminded me of that. That's only my
Thank you.
opinion.
I'm glad to hear that.
And that is
What reminded you of Fassbinder? What?
The little scene and the lyrics you said, it's the whole, well, it's only just the idea. The lines coming from the off and see the pictures, really darkish. I don't know if it's the whole movie's gonna be like that. I just wait for it to get done, and then we can talk probably again about it.
Well, if that film, when that film is made, if it has any value along those lines, any energy like that, I would be very happy.
Okay.
But a lot of that is the result of Shirley and I, the woman who's going to direct that film, the work that we did to where that film evolved from. That film started off being something completely different. It wasn't even going to be a film. It was going to be a series of installations with panels that switched. And it may go back there, or that might be a part of the film, I don't know. So it makes sense because it's very conceptual at the moment in terms of the development. We're still trying to figure out what it's going to be, and that was part of the idea from the very beginning, that we didn't really want to make a film.
Yeah.
We didn't want to make a film. We wanted to figure out if you could make a film that was actually something else, which is a kind of self-indulgent, elaborate way of saying we wanted it to be good.
And that takes me to my, sorry, I just want
I appreciate what you're saying, absolutely.
And my real question is, if you could choose a decade you can make a film in, would you choose the 70s or any other decade?
I think that the only choice that I have in terms of making a film right now is going to be the film that we're working on right now, and it's going to be happening now, in real time, in terms of time. But it's also going to be happening in multiple times within these people's minds. It's more important to, I mean, yeah, for a period piece, I'd love to make a period piece, absolutely. I'd like to make a film about the early 70s, because I love the early 70s.
That's what I thought.
But that's not where, that's yeah, maybe down the road somewhere, but for the moment, all I'm thinking about is right now. Where we live right now, the time that we're in right now. Because that's where that story happens.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Hi. My question is, what was the best moment and the worst moment with a fan?
The best
moment and the worst. Yes.
And the worst moment?
Yeah.
With
a fan.
Of a fan?
Yeah. With a fan.
Like a ceiling fan?
I don't know.
Well, once the radiator fan of my van blew up when I was in the desert, that was bad. I got my fingers stuck in a fan in the kitchen, that hurt. You guys want dirt, right? Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. I think the best and the worst are almost the same thing. From my perspective, who I am, and the way that I'm wired to respond. Sometimes people say things that are so shocking, for good reasons and for bad reasons. When someone's telling you something that it's important to them, sharing some part of their life with you, that is related to work that you've done, while playing a character that's not you, they're very hard to reconcile those two things. And it can be very flattering on one level, but it can be really terrifying at the same time because there's no edit. You're listening to someone tell you something that's very important to them, and you almost feel guilty. You know what I mean? It's like you're seeing too deep into something. But that's a good thing too, because it gives you a chance to see what you've done in a way that you would never otherwise know it. Sometimes it's just too much, you know? And sometimes it's just beautiful, but it all, I don't have a list, you know, like this is bad, this is good. I think it's all together. I mean, there's some strange things that have happened, but strange things happen every day. So, yeah.
I'd like to ask about Fierce Folk, the end of Fierce Folk.
Okay, I can do it. I'd like to ask about serious question.
Okay.
When we already asked Wendy about, that he thinks about, and I would like to ask if you can, really can, what really changed in the end of your school?
What really changed?
What really changed in the end of the series of the first book? What would you like to change?
What would I change? Okay, I'm sorry. I thought you were asking me, what did I really think had changed? Got rid of that fucking Corvette. That changed. What would I have changed? I think this is kind of hindsight is 20/20 questions. Do you know those? Do you know that phrase? Seeing something from the past, from the present. You can see everything that seems to be wrong with it. There's a million things I would change. There's a million things. My performances, my decisions, my choices on certain things. What would I change about the show itself? Or the stories that we told? Or how it ended? Or what happened in the middle, or the beginning? The end. I think there's not really much I would change. It had to end. That's always, not always, but that's frequently the most difficult thing to figure out. How do you end it? How do you end something? I thought it should have ended with a huge bar brawl, breaking bottles and setting the place on fire. Maybe a gun battle or two. I don't know. I mean, it's not really my place to say. I didn't write that show. It was created by someone, it was adapted by some other people. It was their vision, and my place there was to try and do that in a way that was believable, and it told their story as clearly and truthfully as possible. I probably would have chosen a bit of different wardrobe. I may have right now what I would change is I would put the music back in.
Yes.
And that's one of the things that I love most about that time, was that we really got to, it was soundtracked in a way that is somewhat, at the time was kind of unusual. It was very soundtracked, and a lot of the songs are great on their own. So it's unfortunate to think about all the work that we did with some bad music next to it. And there was some bad music in the show. I won't lie about it. Some of those songs I hate, but I can't change anything. I mean, it is what it is. I have regrets about certain things that I did personally, but that's just life.